Good morning, Scott on the spot here. Let me show you this thing that I made in the back of my truck to hold all my tools. I actually copied a design that I saw, a really simple design of this pull-out wooden tray on YouTube, and it was a pretty cool idea, so I expanded upon it, but trying to keep it simple but effective. I only have a 6-foot bed here, and I used to have a box truck, and that was nice. I could carry everything, but 6-foot bed, I can only carry so much, so I got a cap here. I take it off and all my tools are inside. Most of my tools. So what I have here is I have a piece of zipboard plywood because it might get wet and it holds up, and it's just on a hinge here, and that falls down here. I got a metal edge here and some hinges. And that's important because the tray rolls out on wheels, and when it rolls out, it can't sit on the bed. I want it to roll way out here. And if you look underneath, I got some wheels there, a little space under there so I can store a table. And all I got to do is just give it a little bit of a pull, and then the whole thing comes right out. Let me try to get it with two hands. It's actually heavy because I'm aiming downhill. There. So comes out. Actually, it comes out really easy. I was just aiming downhill a little and had something in the way. But you can see the whole thing slides right out. I got my table saw on one side, and I got my little cheapy chop saw on the other, and then everything is underneath or on top. And actually, the top slides too. So I got this brace here so that when I take off, the top doesn't come around. Take that off. And I got this little thing here for a tape dispenser. I can just grab that and I can pull it, and that comes all the way out. Comes out too far and, you know, just top right over. But from there, now I can reach the stuff in the top and I can grab everything I need. And then when I'm done, the whole thing just pushes away. You can see how that's kind of on its own set of wheels there. And that rides right along this track here. And then I got these 2x4s along the side, and that helps guide the whole thing right on the track. And it rubs right up against the wheel well way back there. Probably can't see it. And then, of course, I try to use up every square inch and mount a few of the tools that I don't use that often. My larger T-square and a handsaw. Yes, I don't use a handsaw that often. And I mount that in the back. But every square inch is taken up, including way up there. I'll try to zoom right in. There's a shelf right on top, so I can throw my sawhorses up there, extra wood, and they're not in the way of everything. So, again, this thing kind of pulls out pretty easy. I just grab my tape dispenser, and I just pull that right out, and that rides right across these 2x6s. And I actually have the plywood on the side because I don't want to have brackets inside, because then as this goes back and forth, it would hit everything. And one of the key things to making this structure is that all my cuts, even though it's just dimensional lumber, 2x6s, they're very accurate, very square. That's just a stop right there to keep the top one from moving too far. But also, when I screwed it together, I used a good shot here. You can see I used finishing washers. And the finishing washers will keep the screw from acting like a wedge and splitting the lumber apart. And then, of course, I pre-drill all my screw holes, and use 2x4s for the top, 2x6 for the bottom. Anything bigger, and it gets in the way of trying to work efficiently. I can actually, let me close this up here, and then I'll put this on. This is my stop. I'll come up with a better stop arrangement. I'd like to have it on a handle, so that when I grab this, I like move a handle here, and maybe there's something here that flips out of the way. I'll figure something out later. But I can actually pull up and I can plug in my equipment, and I can work right here, my table saw right here, plug in my vac, and then I can prop the saw up on something, turn it sideways, and I can cut right here without taking my tools right off. And then when I'm done, I just get the whole thing, and it pushes in pretty easy. Although you did hear me grunt. I'm not that strong. And then I take this board and I flip it up. And the length of it is such that when I close it, this can't move back and forth. and that top piece again is held in by that. Anyway, it works out pretty well for me, and I hope you copy it and expand upon it and do something very cool. It helps me still drive around a relatively small truck, and everything is kept well contained and under the weather and easily accessible. Signing out. Have a great day.